you are choosing certain group of people because you want to get them engaged. That is recruitment. So the process through which you go through these things is recruitment and selection. So with recruitment and selection takes us to employment. But before we go into types of employment, what is employment itself? Employment is the act of engaging an individual or group of individuals. That is what employment is. But we would never talk about employment without two parties coming together through an agreement. So what are those two parties? We have the employer, which is the company or the business, and the employee, that individual who is seeking for employment. I will seek for employment. I'm seeking for what? Employment. So who is going to give me this job? Who is going to give me this employment? The employer, the company. Are you here? Do you understand? So these two parties would have agreed before employment comes into reality. Any questions about it?
No.
So as soon as I seek for an employment and I've gone through the recruitment and selection processes, I will be getting my employment contract. So there's going to be an agreement binding you and I, the business and me, seeking for the employment. So that's our employment contract. So the terms and conditions about the job will be stated in the employment contract. Do you have any questions up to now? We're going to get there, but what I need you guys to understand is that employment means you have engaged certain individual for a job. And as soon as this is done, it's going to be happening because we have the employer and the employee. The employee is you and I seeking for employment. The employer is whom we are seeking employment for. Clear, right?
Yes.
So this takes us to the types of employment. Do you want to write these things first? Or I move on?
Move on.
Okay. So go to the types of employment. All the days of the week. So more Sundays, Mondays, no, like here, we work on Sundays. But in European countries or most of African countries, they work from Mondays to Fridays. So you are in full-time employment because you are working from Monday to Friday. If it is here,
Sunday,
no, they are weekends. So you are working throughout the weekdays within a specific period of time, maybe 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So that means you are in a full-time job. So look at what they said. They said, this is where a business takes an unarmed employee who is expected to work the full working week. That means you are working through the weekdays. Do you get it? So that is full-time. You are engaged from 8 o'clock until maybe 4 o'clock. That is the closing hour. The opening hour to the closing hour. Throughout the weekdays, you're working. You are expected to work. That makes you a full-time employee. Do we understand full-time employee?
Yes.
Should I write something about it?
No.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we go to part-time employment. For part-time, here you have a specific period of time that you are engaged. You're not going to work full-time like the part-time. You're not going to work full-time as a part-time employee. So look at what they said. Part-time workers will work fewer hours than full-time colleagues. That means you're not going to work the same hours like those ones that are engaged throughout the weekdays. That makes you a part-time worker. So you're going to work few hours. The full-time workers might work, let's say from 8 o'clock, from 8 a.m. to let's say 4 p.m. This is a full-time. A part-time worker might start from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. or whatever else. So it's not going to work the same hour like his or her colleagues. That makes him or her a part-time worker. Do you understand what part-time worker is?
Yes.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Great. It's all job share. So a minority of business. Okay. For job sharing, let me just explain it. For job sharing, it means two part-time workers are going to get a job and they're going to share the money like a full-time. Normally I'm supposed to work from, we are supposed to work.
We divide our time. Like,
yeah, we divide our time.
It's part-time, they share the money together.
So let's say we're supposed to work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's full-time. But I could choose to work from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. Then 12 p.m. until 4 p.m. This becomes a full-time, yes or no?
Yes.
So I'm going to work for 4 hours, you're going to work for 4 hours, but in different period of time. So we're going to get the full-time salary or full-time pay, but we have job shared. We share the job. Do you understand job sharing here?
Yes.
Two part-time workers working for a full-time, getting the full-time payment. Well, two part-time workers are working together. They're going to share the job, they're going to share the responsibilities, they're going to share the functions.
Are they gonna share the wage?
Yeah, they're going to share the wages. This English, please.
Yeah. I told them once we.
You did it before.
No, we think.
You talked about it. Okay.
My last company, we work from 10 to 10.
Uh-huh.
So they want to start like from 10 to 5, then another one comes from 5 to 7.
Yeah, that's what we call job sharing. I think it's clear.
Yeah.
So we'll go move on. Other types of employment. We said, okay, now let's go to other types of employment, which is we have casual. Yeah. Casual employment. Casual workers do not get any guarantees of work from their employer. That's why you are a casual worker. Who is a casual worker? A casual worker is that individual that is engaged with the company, but without any prospects of becoming a full-time staff within the organization. So you're not going to get any benefits that full-time workers would get. Even the benefit of the part-time workers, you might not even get it. You are not entitled to any perks from the organization. We call it casual worker, no perks from the organization. So you are a casual worker. The only thing you have with them is your payment, your wages. So when you are at work, you get paid. When you are not at work, you don't get paid. So it's basically they use time rate for them. Time rates. Do you understand what a casual worker is here?
Yes.
No, I'll explain it then. A casual worker is an employee who is not entitled to any benefits in the organization. You're not entitled. Maybe, okay, like I'm working in this company. I could have a company's car. I could have an accommodation from the company. The company might give my kids scholarships. All these things you are not entitled to them as a part-time worker, as a casual worker. That's why you are casual. You are not a full-time staff. You are not a staff.
So
You're a casual
casual,
staff.
casual work part-time.
You work full-time,
It's another.
but you're a casual worker because you are not entitled to any perks.
Why?
Because that's your name. You are casual.
I don't understand.
You are casual because they only need you to get the job done.
Like you come to the office, do the job, then get out.
That's all. You are not going to be promoted. You are not entitled to anything. The only entitlement you have is the job you do. That's why I said earlier that when you are at work, you get paid. When you are not at work, you don't get paid.
We pay
So-
by the hour.
So they use time rate for casual worker. Time, we call it time rates. So they get paid based on the hours they work.
Paid by the hours.
Do you understand? Unlike a full staff, if you are a full staff, even if you are not coming to work, you get paid because you are entitled to salary. But casual workers are not getting salary; they
They
get
can be
wages.
substitutes for the full-time work. When someone is absent.
Casual workers, no, they are not substitutes. Casual workers, they work full time,
Uh-huh.
but they are casual because the company doesn't want to employ workers that they have more responsibilities on. Most of multinational companies, they do this. When you're joining a multinational company, you could join through being a casual worker. With time, as time goes on, they could give you could become a contract staff. Or
You give your
full-time.
contract to
Yeah.
sign. Like,
A casual worker is not a contract staff.
yes.
You're not a contract staff. If you are a contract staff, you have specific amount of money you get signed. But a casual worker, you get paid based on the hours you spend at
Yes.
work.
In like in a contract, like if you want to quit the job, you can't. Like
There's a sign, it's signed and sealed. That makes you a contract staff.
Yes.
But a casual worker, you are a casual worker because you are not entitled to any benefits in the company. That is what it means. Do you get it now? Look at what they said. Casual workers do not get any guarantees of work from their employer. So you are not entitled to anything. You are not entitled to scholarship, lunch subsidy, nothing. No benefits. You work and get paid, that's all. You don't work, you don't get paid. Even during holiday, if you are absent during holiday, you don't get paid for it. Because you're a casual worker. I think we got it now, right? Alright, we'll move on. Seasonal employment. Yeah, some businesses need workers at a particular period of time within a year. So you are a seasonal employee. So So we need you for a specific period of the time in a year. So as soon as that period is over, you are out of job. We don't need you anymore. Do you understand seasonal employee here?
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll move on. Temporary. Are you there? Okay. Okay. For temporary, here you are representing someone that is absent. So most of the time, some workers are not present at work, or they are absent. So they could employ you to take place or to replace them for a period of time. That makes you a temporary employee. Do you get temporary employment here? You are just there to cover up for an individual who is absent for a period of time. Maybe through because she needs to give birth or traveling or whatever.
So this is what I was talking about.
Oh yeah, we call it temporary employment or temporary employee. Is it clear? So yeah, look how this is said. Stop this. Sometimes the business needs to take on the staff a short period of time to cover or for absent workers. That makes it temporary. As soon as the individual is back at work, you are out. Is it clear, please?
Yes.
Any question about that?
No.
Go. So go to recruitment. They said the human resources department is responsible for employing staff. So, you know when we're talking about, what's the topic we're talking about? Communication. When we're talking about communication, we said an applicant is sending a message to the employee, right? To the employer, to the human resources department.
Yes.
And I said, you won't be sending an application form to logistic department or finance department. You send it to what? The human resources department. Remember I said that?
Yeah.
When we're talking about communication,
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I said when you're sending your application form, you're not going to send it to finance department or logistic department. Rather, you send it to the human resources department, HRD. So the human resources department is saddled with the responsibility of recruiting workers and selecting the best among the rest. Are you with me, please?
Yeah.
Okay, so for recruitment, this means you are employing workers and it is carried out by the human resources department. Do you want me to write anything? Okay? What about you guys? Alright, good. So, let's say the business will need new staff. So why do we need to recruit? Reasons for recruitment. Reasons for recruitment.
Expansion.
What?
Expansion.
Yeah, I'm going to explain each one. So we know what recruitment is now, right? I said it earlier. I said giving job to an individual or group of individuals. So the first reason why, please stop. Please look at the board. The first reason why we could start thinking about employing more workers is because we are expanding. Expansion.
Substitution.
When a business is expanding, yes?
Even substitution, like someone quits, you want to find another.
Yeah, we're going to get there. Let's talk about expansion first.
Yeah.
Expansion means you are increasing the size of your company. If you are increasing the size of your company, it's necessary for you to employ more workers. Yes or no?
Yes.
So if you are thinking of expanding your business, you should start thinking about employing workers. So one of the reasons why businesses might start recruiting workers is because they are expanding. I think the first one is clear. Expansion. Is it clear?
Yes.
2, people are leaving and they need to be replaced. Staff turnover. Maybe some group of people are leaving the company. And as soon as they leave, there's an opening, there's a vacancy. Do you get the point here?
Yes.
People are leaving, you have to replace them. You don't leave it empty because production will stop. And you wouldn't want production to stop. So that means you have to get someone engaged. That's the second reason. The third one. Positions have become vacant owing to promotion. Here, this is true. Vacancy. That's vacancy. Here, promotion. So maybe I'm an assistant manager. I become a manager.
You need now.
So that means we need a new assistant manager. So we need to do we get it? So the first reason is that expansion. The second one is what? Vacancy. The third one is promotion. Is that clear?
Yeah.
What is promotion? Uplifting. You have given someone a position that he or she was not before. You have given him a new position.
And then
Higher
five.
position.
A higher position. Thank you. That's promotion. I think it's clear.
Yes.
Then the next one, people are required for a temporary period to cover, maybe maternity leave or paternity leave. So maybe a lady wants to put to bed, so she needs to
He's
leave.
having a labor.
Yeah. So we could employ temporary workers to cover up for that period of months before he or she comes back. I think it's clear. So these are the reasons for recruitment of workers. Any question about them?